I'm gonna be around my vegetables. I'm gonna chow down my vegetables. I love you most of all, my favorite vegetable.
Dude here. Again, this time of the year, we run into this problem of just way too many scarlet runners. And you can only eat so many scarlet runners, and I can only even give away so many. So what's the solution? Well, the solution is to freeze them. So I'm going to show you today how do you freeze beans, and that of course means how do you freeze just about. The first step is you take your beans and you cut off the tips, because the tips tend to be a little bit hard. Not quite as good to eat. So you clip off the tips, and then you want to have them probably be maybe in these sizes. So I'm going to do the rest of this pile to get them all like that. I'll show you here in just a moment. All the beans have now been cut, and here's some of the ends that I chopped off that are now going into the worm food place. So that's really good. I also threw away any beans that felt limp or just didn't look really healthy. No sense freezing food that's not that good to begin with. The next step is we're going to put the beans into boiling water for 3 minutes, and this blanches them. This destroys any bacteria or any other kinds of enzymes on the beans so that they can be frozen, and then they're not going to spoil. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, here we go. You want to completely submerge the beans into the boiling water, and there we go. That's good. They're all covered. I'll goose up the heat here a little bit. We've got the timer now going, and let's go ahead and wait for 3 minutes now. Okay, they've been in there for 3 minutes. Now it's time to put them into some cold water. Here's a large container filled with water with lots of ice in it. The idea here is to get the temperature down as quickly as possible. So that means that you can also continue to add ice to make sure the water stays nice and chilly, which it is. Also, it's a good tip to know that if we would have had more than one load of beans, we could have used the same water again 4 or 5 times. So that's a little conservation tip. The beans have been in the water now for about 4 or 5 minutes, and I don't feel any warmth left at all in them, so they're thoroughly chilled. So now, let's go ahead and drain them. The next step is simply to place them in freezer bags and put them in the freezer. So I like to use a couple of different sizes of freezer bags so that I can choose when I want to unfreeze them how many I'm going to need for that particular meal. Like this one here would be enough maybe just for beans for 2 people, which is usually all that you really want anyway. Boy, these look good. Notice how bright green they turn after you blanch them. And the final step before you put them in the freezer is to make sure that you get as much air out of the bags as possible, and then seal them up. Then the hardest part of all, at least for the dude, is to find a place in the freezer to put them, because there's so much other stuff in there. But I guess they'll fit right in there. And there we have it. We now have beans for the coming months. The final act of any good operation that involves having some leftover organic material is to take all these lovely cut-off beans and give them to the worms. Hey worms, eat hearty now. You cute little guys, look at them all. They're all in there wiggling away. I have my poor old Earth flag, like our Mother Earth, has seen better days, has been abused, is kind of tattered and torn, and this probably is the best reason why we need to malama Mother Earth.
And we got to